A shocking discovery and a stunning confession. Monica Quartermain's final days rocked Port Charles. The residents of Port Charles would soon be rocked by a series of devastating revelations that would forever change the Quartermain family. What began as a heartbreaking discovery would quickly spiral into a murder mystery that exposed the darkest secrets lurking within one of the town's most prominent families. Jason's heartbreaking discovery. On what seemed like an ordinary morning at the Quartermain mansion, Jason Morgan made his way up the familiar staircase to check on Monica. The beloved cardiologist had been in declining health, and Jason wanted to ensure she was comfortable. However, nothing could have prepared him for what he would find behind Monica's bedroom door. As Jason gently knocked and received no response, a sense of unease washed over him. Pushing open the door, he stepped into the room where Monica had spent her final days. There, lying peacefully in her bed, was the woman who had been his mother in every way that mattered. Monica Quartermain had passed away quietly in her sleep. The grief that overwhelmed Jason was immediate and crushing. This remarkable woman, who had weathered countless family storms and served as the heart of the Quartermain legacy, was gone. Jason's hands trembled as he approached the bed, hoping against hope that he was mistaken. But the peaceful stillness of Monica's form confirmed his worst fears. The news spreads through Port Charles. Word of Monica's passing spread rapidly through the halls of General Hospital and beyond. The medical community was stunned by the loss of their former chief of staff, a woman who had dedicated her life to saving others. Colleagues remembered her not only for her exceptional skills as a cardiologist, but for her compassion and unwavering commitment to her patients. Throughout Port Charles, residents reflected on Monica's profound impact on their lives. She had been a pillar of the community, someone who had touched countless lives through her medical practice and her involvement in various charitable endeavors. Her death left a void that would be difficult to fill. The Quartermain family was devastated by the loss. Tracy Quartermain, despite her often contentious relationship with Monica, was deeply shaken by her sister-in-law's passing. The two women had shared decades of history, filled with both conflicts and moments of genuine affection. Preparing for the final farewell, as arrangements began for Monica's funeral, it became clear that this would be one of Port Charles' most significant memorial services in years. The ceremony would take place at the local church, with burial following in the Quartermain family plot. Flowers began arriving at the mansion from across the country, as Monica's former colleagues, friends, and patients sought to pay their respects. Jason was chosen to deliver the eulogy for his adoptive mother. Despite not being her biological son, Monica had loved Jason unconditionally and had always considered him her child. Their relationship had weathered many storms, including Jason's alienation from the family during his involvement with organized crime. But Monica's love had never wavered. The funeral service was expected to draw hundreds of mourners, including many prominent figures from the medical community. Dr. Britt Westburn, Dr. Portia Robinson, and Dr. Terry Randolph would represent General Hospital's current medical staff, honoring their predecessor's legacy. The reading of the will. Following the funeral, family members and close friends gathered at the Quartermain mansion for the reading of Monica's will. The atmosphere was tense with anticipation, as everyone wondered how Monica had chosen to distribute her considerable assets. As the owner of the mansion itself, Monica's decisions would significantly impact the entire family's living situation. The Quartermain mansion had been Monica's pride and joy, a gift from her late husband Alan when they married. Over the years, she had made it clear to anyone who would listen that the house belonged to her, not to the Quartermain family trust. This ownership had been both a source of power and occasional conflict within the family. Many family members had their own expectations about Monica's bequests. Some believed Jason, as her adoptive son, would inherit the bulk of her estate. Others thought she might leave everything to her grandson Michael Corinthos, or perhaps divide it among all her grandchildren. Tracy, as the senior surviving Quartermain family member, also harbored hopes of inheriting significant assets. Scout's shocking revelation. As the family attorney prepared to read the will aloud, an unexpected interruption occurred that would change everything. Scout Kane, Drew's young daughter and Sam McCall's child, suddenly stood up in the middle of the proceedings. The 12-year-old girl's face was pale but determined as she addressed the shocked gathering. "I have to tell you something important," Scout announced, her voice trembling but clear. "Someone killed Monica. I saw what happened." The room erupted in gasps and murmurs of disbelief. Jason immediately moved toward Scout, his protective instincts kicking in. "What are you talking about, sweetheart?" he asked gently, kneeling to her eye level. Scout took a deep breath and continued, I saw someone put something in Monica's water glass. It happened the night before you found her, Jason. I was coming downstairs to get some milk, and I saw it happen. The family members exchanged worried glances, unsure whether to take the child's claim seriously. After all, Scout had been through significant trauma with the recent loss of her mother, Sam McCall. Perhaps grief was affecting her perception of events. The accusation that shattered everything. But Scout wasn't finished. With the courage that comes from knowing the truth, she pointed directly at Tracy Quartermain. It was you, Tracy. I saw you put poison in Monica's drinking water. You thought nobody was watching, but I was there. The accusation hit the room like a thunderbolt. Tracy's face went white with shock, her mouth opening and closing as she struggled to find words. That's absolutely ridiculous, she finally managed to stammer. I would never. Monica was family. Scout shook her head firmly. I know what I saw. You came into the kitchen late at night. You had a little bottle, and you poured something into the water pitcher that Monica always kept by her bed. Then you put the bottle back in your purse and went back upstairs. The detailed account sent chills through everyone present. Scout's description was too specific, too detailed to be the product of a child's imagination. Jason's detective instincts began kicking in as he processed the information. The motive revealed. As the family continued to question both Scout and Tracy, the truth began to emerge. Under intense pressure and faced with Scout's unwavering testimony, Tracy's composure finally cracked. The weight of guilt and the fear of discovery had been eating at her for days. You don't understand, Tracy suddenly exclaimed, her voice breaking. I didn't have a choice. I'm facing financial ruin. The admission shocked everyone present. As they learned about Tracy's dire financial circumstances, Tracy had been experiencing significant financial difficulties, having made poor investment decisions and fallen victim to several financial scams. Her attempts to manipulate ELQ stock and various family trusts had backfired spectacularly. With creditors closing in and the threat of losing everything, Tracy had grown desperate. Monica's will. I knew she was going to leave everything to Jason and the grandchildren, Tracy continued, tears streaming down her face. I needed that inheritance. I needed the house, the money, everything. I thought if she died naturally, no one would ever know. The confession and consequences. Tracy's full confession revealed the calculated nature of her crime. She had obtained the poison through contacts in her business dealings, choosing a substance that would mimic a heart attack, fitting for someone with Monica's cardiac history. She had been planning the murder for weeks, waiting for the right opportunity when she could act without witnesses. I watched her drink the water before she went to bed, Tracy admitted through her sobs. I thought it would be quick and painless. I never meant for Jason to find her like that. I never meant to hurt anyone else. The family was stunned by the revelation that someone they had lived with, argued with, and loved for decades was capable of such a heinous act. The woman who had schemed and manipulated throughout her life had crossed the ultimate line. Scout's heroism. As the police arrived to arrest Tracy, Scout found herself being hailed as a hero. Her brave decision to speak up, despite her young age and recent losses, had ensured that justice would be served. The truth might never have come to light without her courage. Jason embraced Scout, promising her that she would always have a place in the Quartermain family. Her relationship with Drew might be complicated, but her connection to the Quartermains through her mother Sam and her love for Monica would always be honored. The revelation also sparked important conversations about Scout's living situation. With Drew's increasingly erratic behavior and his attempts to isolate Scout from her extended family, many began questioning whether he was truly acting in her best interests. The aftermath and new beginnings. Tracy's arrest sent shockwaves throughout Port Charles. The woman who had been a fixture in the community for decades was now facing murder charges. Her desperate financial situation and willingness to kill for inheritance money painted a picture of someone who had lost all moral compass. The Quartermain family had to grapple with the reality that one of their own had committed the ultimate betrayal. Monica's murder had robbed them not only of a beloved matriarch, but had shattered their sense of safety within their own home. Monica's will, when finally read, revealed her generous heart. She had indeed planned to leave the mansion to Jason, with provisions for all her grandchildren's education and futures. Her murder had been entirely unnecessary. Tracy's financial problems could have been addressed through family support and legal means. As Port Charles mourned Monica Quartermain and processed the shocking truth about her death, Scout's bravery became a symbol of hope. Sometimes it takes the innocent eyes of a child to see through the deceptions that adults create. Her willingness to speak truth to power had ensured that Monica's killer would face justice, and that the Quartermain legacy would continue with honor intact. The tragic events surrounding Monica's death and Tracy's arrest would forever change the dynamics within the Quartermain family, but they also demonstrated the strength that comes from standing together in the face of betrayal and loss. Next, we will dive into the thrilling twists and turns awaiting us in Port Charles over the next 2 weeks, from September 15th to 26th, where old secrets resurface and family bonds are tested like never before. As the drama unfolds in General Hospital, the spotlight shines brightly on the enigmatic reappearance of Nathan West, a character whose presumed death left fans reeling years ago. This comeback isn't just a simple resurrection, it's layered with mystery, hinting at hidden agendas and long-buried truths that could reshape alliances across the town. Imagine the shockwaves rippling through the community as Nathan steps back into the lives of those who mourned him, potentially unraveling carefully constructed narratives and forcing characters to confront their past mistakes. His return might tie into larger conspiracies, perhaps involving shadowy figures who've been pulling strings from afar, adding an extra layer of intrigue that keeps viewers on the edge of their seats. With whispers of underground dealings and forgotten connections, Nathan's presence could ignite fresh rivalries, especially among those who thought they'd moved on from the chaos he once embodied. Meanwhile, Jason Morgan finds himself grappling with a devastating setback that threatens to upend his world. Known for his stoic resilience, Jason's latest ordeal feels particularly crushing, as it strikes at the heart of his personal and professional life. This blow comes at a time when he's already navigating treacherous waters, balancing loyalties between friends and foes. Picture Jason, the unflappable enforcer, suddenly vulnerable, his usual composure cracking under the weight of unexpected news. This development might stem from revelations about his closest confidants or even his own identity, forcing him to question everything he holds dear. As the story progresses, Jason's response could lead to bold actions, perhaps seeking solace in unlikely places or forging new paths to reclaim control, all while the audience wonders if this is the catalyst for his ultimate transformation. Tensions escalate dramatically in the fierce confrontation between Britt Westburn and her mother, Liesl Obrecht, turning their already strained relationship into an all-out war. This mother-daughter clash is fueled by years of resentment, betrayal, and unspoken grievances, exploding in ways that could have lasting repercussions for the entire Westburn family. Liesl's stubborn refusal to offer a genuine apology only fans the flames, pushing Britt to her breaking point where she unleashes pent-up fury, declaring herself the very monster her mother molded her into through manipulation and deceit. Envision the raw emotion in the room as words fly like daggers, with Britt's accusations echoing the pain of a lifetime under Liesl's controlling shadow. This feud might draw in other characters, creating ripple effects that expose hidden family secrets, such as long-lost relatives or forgotten scandals, amplifying the stakes and making reconciliation seem like a distant dream. Before delving deeper into the 2-week arc, let's zoom in on the immediate action from September 15th to 19th, where conflicts brew and alliances shift unpredictably. Liesl Obrecht remains unyielding in her stance, doubling down on her refusal to express remorse for the grief she's caused, particularly regarding her daughter Britt. The moment Liesl utters a half-hearted sorry for ever mourning Britta, the situation spirals into chaos, highlighting the deep-seated toxicity in their bond. Britt's explosive retort, labeling herself as the product of her mother's monstrous influence, adds a psychological depth to their exchange, perhaps revealing flashbacks to pivotal moments in Britt's upbringing that shaped her into the complex woman she is today. Nina Reeves steps in as a reluctant mediator, her own history of family strife making her uniquely positioned to bridge the gap. Yet her efforts seem futile against the wall of animosity. This mediation attempt could introduce new elements, like Nina uncovering a shared vulnerability between the two, or even hinting at external forces exacerbating their divide, leaving fans speculating on whether peace is possible or if this war will claim more casualties. Adding to the intrigue, Anna Devane uncovers crucial new evidence that could crack open a major case wide open. As a seasoned investigator, Anna's discovery feels like a game-changer, potentially linking to Brick's covert operations where he plants incriminating clues to frame Drew Kane in a high-stakes judge bribery scandal. Visualize Anna piecing together clues in a dimly lit room, her determination shining through as she connects dots that others have overlooked, perhaps involving digital trails or witness testimonies that add layers of complexity to the plot. This evidence might not only exonerate the innocent, but also expose a web of corruption, reaching into Port Charles' elite circles, forcing Anna to navigate moral dilemmas about whom to trust. The implications could extend to her personal life, blending professional duty with emotional stakes, as she weighs the cost of pursuing justice against the safety of those she cares about. The ongoing saga between Willow Tate and Nina Reeves reaches another boiling point, with a heated face-off that pushes boundaries. Willow's unyielding stance provokes Nina into a sharp lashing out, suggesting that harsh words from her daughter might finally tip the fragile mother-daughter dynamic over the edge. This confrontation could stem from revelations about their shared past, with Willow confronting Nina about secrets that have festered for too long, leading to an emotional outburst filled with regret and accusation. Imagine the intensity as voices rise, tears flow, and unspoken truths come to light, possibly introducing new details like a hidden letter or a forgotten memory that deepens their connection or widens the rift. Nina's reaction might reveal vulnerabilities, humanizing her character and prompting viewers to empathize with her struggles, while Willow's resolve highlights her growth into a stronger, more assertive figure amid the turmoil. Young Emma Scorpio Drake receives alarming news that shakes her world, potentially tied to a catastrophic crash involving one of Professor Hank Dalton's mysterious shipments. This development adds a layer of suspense, as Emma grapples with the implications, her youthful innocence clashing with the harsh realities of Port Charles' underbelly. Picture Emma's wide-eyed concern as she processes the information, perhaps learning details about hazardous materials or illicit cargo that could endanger lives, sparking her to seek answers from trusted adults. This news might connect to broader storylines, inventing elements like a whistleblower's tip or a surveillance video that heightens the drama, leaving Emma torn between fear and curiosity. Further complicating matters, Lulu Spencer steps in to aid a victim of this very crash, her heroic instincts drawing her into danger and raising alarms for those around her. Lulu's involvement could freak out Emma, who sees her getting too close to the perilous situation, prompting fears of history repeating itself with past tragedies. Envision Lulu at the scene, offering comfort and clues that unwittingly pull her deeper into the mystery, perhaps discovering artifacts from the crash that hint at corporate espionage or hidden agendas. This act of kindness might lead to unexpected alliances, but it also sets the stage for Joe Palmieri to seek assistance from Sonny Corinthos, turning to the mob boss for protection or insight in a bid to safeguard his loved ones. Gio's plea adds familial tension, as Sonny's involvement could blend business with personal loyalties, introducing new dynamics like secret meetings or strategic favors that enrich the narrative. Nathan West's mysterious return continues to be a focal point, shrouded in questions about how he survived and what motives drive his comeback. This plot thread weaves through the weeks, promising revelations that could alter family trees and power structures in Port Charles. Fans might speculate on cloning theories or witness protection scenarios, with Nathan's re-entry sparking joy, suspicion, and conflict among his circle. For Jason Morgan, the crushing blow manifests in heartbreaking news shared by Elizabeth Liz Baldwin to Drew Kane, possibly revolving around the tragic passing of Monica Quartermain. This loss reverberates through the Quartermain clan, evoking grief and forcing reflections on legacy and inheritance. Liz's delivery of the bad news could include tender moments of support, perhaps revealing untold stories from Monica's life that add emotional depth, like her unsung heroics or private struggles. As we shift to the week of September 22nd, Monica's funeral becomes a poignant centerpiece, gathering mourners in a sea of black attire and whispered condolences. The ceremony might feature heartfelt eulogies, unexpected attendees, and subtle hints at unresolved mysteries tied to her death, blending sorrow with suspense, adding star power. One Life to Live veteran Erica Slezak makes her much-anticipated debut, bringing fresh energy and possibly a character with ties to Port Charles history, enriching the ensemble with her seasoned presence. Liesl Obrecht encounters yet another bombshell with Nathan's astonishing survival, a twist that could shatter her worldview and force a reckoning with her own deceptions. This revelation might lead to tearful reunions laced with accusations, as Liesl confronts the reality of her son's endurance. The probe into Drew Kane's shooting intensifies, with the congressman fueled by vengeance set on dismantling Michael Corinthos. This vendetta adds political intrigue, as motives unravel amid a backdrop of power plays. Michael Corinthos and Jacinda Brackett's alliance, built on mutual alibis, teeters on exposure, their ruse a ticking time bomb under scrutiny. How long can they maintain the facade before cracks appear? Finally, Dante Falcone's growing suspicions heighten the tension, his detective instinct sniffing out inconsistencies that could blow the lid off multiple schemes, promising a cascade of confrontations as truths emerge.